Another episode of Second Guessing with Tristan. I'm your host, Garrett Williams, aka Texans commenter. Sorry, that was a new video my buddy made for me. Had never heard it. It was briefer than I thought. It caught me off guard there, but hope y'all are doing well. I know we're probably all stressing. Obviously, that was not the result that we had wanted with the Broncos game. So as always, we'll kind of just chop it up Q&A wise, get, what's on our chest out there and kind of have some group therapy here. But, obviously address the Broncos game. We'll address the trade deadline or lack thereof of any moves done by the Texans. And then the rest of the season going forward and the Jaguars game coming up. But for myself, it's tough. I mean, that game was really tough. I feel like it's a game we definitely would have won if Stroud wasn't hurt. And I could not wait to watch that game because of what we saw with CJ Stroud against the Niners. And to me, like breaking down the all 22, like Stroud was fucking back, bro. Like I've been saying it, like he went from playing his worst game against Seattle as a pro to his best game as a pro against San Francisco. And there was injuries and this and that, but like the way he played and the way he did it was because of him, not because of the opponent. And Robert Saleh threw a bunch of stuff at him. And so I was like, to me, it's like, it seems like it all finally clicked for him in this new offense. Everyone on the same page, receivers, etc. Even Kaylee, kind of jiving with CJ. And so I couldn't wait for this Denver game, top defense. Yes, Surtain was out, but it was a chance to really prove that like what we saw wasn't a fluke. And in the just over a quarter of play that we saw, I saw the exact same stuff. Like they were blitzing him. He was killing the blitz. He was IDing the blitz, hitting this guy, hitting that guy. So to me, it was the same. And to see him go down with that hit, I'm in the stadium. I sit in the second level. And like I tell y'all, like, where I'm sitting, that's like corner end zone. Like it's like an all 22. And I'm in the end zone looking out us going out. And I see the hit. And from my angle, you see him get hit. And it looks like the dirtiest hit ever. And, luckily I restrained from tweeting anything without really knowing what was going on. But then you kind of see the replays and it's not as bad as you thought. But I mean, in the stadium though, like as soon as he got hit, like it was like a loud, like, whoo, and then like dead silence. And you could just see it right away live. Like got hit and just laying lifeless. Like I was just sitting there like, no way, dude. Like this is not good. And so I immediately went from like, our defense is dominating them, offense moving the ball at will. Yes, when he was in there, we obviously missed a field goal, which then we blocked their field goal. And then we got stuck on the goal line situation, which is a fiasco and proves to be our biggest problem. He was driving the ball. And so like once that happened, I was like, shit. Okay. Like obviously Mills comes in. I still think we can win this game because our defense is absolutely dominating. I don't see them doing much. But the first half, it proved to be a very similar game to the Niners game in terms of the offense moving the ball. Yes, they weren't converting in red zone, but they put up enough points, not quite as much as in the first half as the Niners game. But the time of possession was crazy after the first half. The plays we ran as opposed to the plays they ran, the total yards gained, like we were dominating that game. But again, somehow, some way, and it's been the MO of the Texans under DeMeco Ryans during his entire tenure. And that's where we come up with the name Stressins. Like, that's why it's so frustrating is like, how many times do we dominate games and either win, barely win, or lose? Like we play with our food too much. Like this game, you dominate in every area except for red zone. Like our defense, elite in every category except red zone. And then offense, same thing. Like they're not like dominating, but like they did good in the game except for red zone and goal line. Obviously second half changed, more than that. But you just like dominate the game, the box score, and you never let them in the red zone. But when they do get in the red zone, they're 2 for 2. They score touchdowns. Like the other teams are maximizing their chances, and we're, they're getting the most out of their ops and we're getting the least out of it. And we're still almost winning. It's like, if you could just marginally improve on some of this stuff. And then in the second half for the defense too, is The issue, I want to try and remove my name here. I don't know why. I'm using, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm using StreamYard, so it's a little different. But what I was saying is, you know, we just we we don't reward ourselves for the type of games we play, and maybe some of it's luck or variance, but a lot of it's in our own power, and it's just frustrating. I mean, um, any I bet like it's frustrating for us, but I bet you like non-Texans fans watching these games are like, "Damn, dude, like that's got to be exhausting. Like y'all are the better team and more often than not and still lose. Like how frustrating does that have to be as a fan, you know?" And it's, it's definitely taxing. So shout out to people in the chat. We got Jacadon on YouTube says season is over. We just playing for pride at this point. I don't trust Davis Mills at all. He says all Mills had to do is complete that pass to Kirk and we win against the Broncos. Shout out Dot on X says, "What's up, Stressins?" He says, "We lose this weekend, might as well chalk up the season." Ayush says, "We suck. It's going to be bad for a while. We'll be last in the division next year." And over on IG, we got, let's see who we got on IG. Shout out IG. We got TX Jonathan, man, makes it seem like they want us to lose. And then Refugio, tank the season already and live like you're dying. The honeymoon is over with the head coach. Next year will be big for him. Love Only Christ says, "Do we think Money Mills is going to cook this weekend?" The Louisville says, "I'm selling tickets for cheap. Hit me up." Yeah. So, I mean, just my thoughts on as far as, I mean, we've been saying it all year, must win game, and it kind of ratchets up each time. But this is season's on the line on Sunday against the Jags. Like, y'all know me, I'm optimistic. I still think this team can make the playoffs. I know the numbers are against us, division, and that's what stung worse about that loss was should have won that game even without Stroud. Probably win with Stroud. I mean, probably win. Not trying to be arrogant or but from what I saw, it would have been like the Niners game. But regardless, and we can still, there's an outside chance. Y'all, I know I'm gonna be called crazy, but there's an outside chance at the division. Colts played easy ass schedule these first whatever games through halfway of the season. Lost two, could have easily lost a handful more. The Broncos game, they got a call to win it at the end on a kick. The Cardinals game didn't get called on PI in the end zone to lose in the final seconds. I mean, they could have two more losses. And us, on the other hand, every game we've played that we've lost has been a one-score game. And it's not just a late score to make it a one-score game. It's a one-score game in the sense that they're down to the final seconds. Like, there's 5 plays we could look at. I know it's an excuse and be like, "Oh, we're like a bad team." No, we're a great team. And so, like, I know it's hard, because we're 3-5 and things are terrible to kind of look at things through those lens. So, but that being said, you have to win this game. You can't go 3-6. You can't go 0-2 versus the Jags. You can't lose at home to the Jags. And we're seeing how it's shaping up. I mean, the injury report today was crazy, bro. Like, no CJ Stroud officially ruled out. Kaimi Fairbairn got hurt. We got a random kicker off the streets to come in. He was our whole offense in the game against the Broncos. So that's a big factor. Titus Howard had a concussion. He may be out. Your right tackle. And then now all of a sudden Nick Chubb is on the injury report out of nowhere. And then Jalen Petrie out of nowhere has a concussion. Jalen Smith, our third round rookie pick cornerback, third corner who played some in the game, he's out for the season. I don't even know what his injury is. Like, he been hurt, came back, played, got hurt again, out for the season. And I believe Danico Autry, maybe it's just rest. There's a handful of other names, but there's a lot of big pieces. Obviously, Stroud, Kaimi, and Howard would be the biggest. And if Petrie is out, that's a big one too. So not only is it you already knew about Stroud more than likely not playing, but you throw those in there. But I'll just say this now, and I'll circle back to it. But to me, it's a winnable game. I mean, I feel like we do well in these back against the wall games. Like, The Niners game was a back against the wall game. You were 2-4, 2-5. It's like your season's pretty much done. You win. There's still pressure to win this last game against Denver, but then Stroud gets hurt. After you were 0-3, you could not go 0-4. You win. You win in an impressive fashion against the Titans. I mean, it wasn't impressive until late. And then I feel like the Ravens game felt like a must-win essentially. But even the years prior, I believe it was 2023, when we needed to win against the Titans and Case Keenum was in, you found a way to win. So, like, I do feel like at home and must-win games, D'Amico Ryans finds a way. And I do feel like the Jaguars started pretty well, but are kind of coming back down to earth. I think we're the better team. We can still play the way we want to. We can lean into our strength, which is our defense. And I do think that Mills will and can do enough for us to win. I can sound hypocritical by saying this because, Mills in the game came out initially and played well. And the reason why I believe he played well, I haven't finished watching the film, but I've watched some plays here and there, but I couldn't help but suspect was he came in, it was a shock to us, but a shock to them as well. And so when Mills came in, they still were running their game plan that they had in the game to combat Stroud, which was more blitzing and more man coverage. And so Mills just threw it to fucking Nico Collins, who's going to be open, is basically what happened. And we saw him hit the deep one down the right sideline, the nice slant to get down towards the goal line, which, by the way, was a terrible bullshit spot. Like, Nico was inches from the end zone, and instead they mark it on the 2.5-yard line. And then this again highlights the ineptitude and lack of situational awareness of our coaching staff, which is a major problem, has been, to assume that the ref spotted it right, not see that it's not spotted right, calling a QB sneak, assuming that it's on the half-inch yard line or the half-yard line, but it's not. And so now you run a QB sneak with Mills and lose a yard, and now it's second and goal from the 3. When you should have, yes, it's bullshit, the refs fucked it up, but it's on the coaches to recognize this. And guess what? You can challenge it and get a better spot. But back to Mills, though. So he came in and did well. And I've been saying this too. The timing of the Stroud injury kind of sucked. Obviously, because one, he barely even played. But the other part is Mills came in early. And he did well in the first half. And then now they have the halftime to completely adjust their game plan. Whereas if it were to happen early in the third, the stuff we saw with Mills probably would have continued, and they wouldn't have had time to sit down and really think things through and convey the message and the game plan to the players. Instead, they had the time, and when you came out of half, they were dropping into zone a lot, and they were dropping 8 at times, only rushing 3. Mills was kind of stumped by it. He was expecting pressure, seeing pressure. They would mug it and sim it and then drop out. And D'Amico has said it. He would rush through his reads, thinking he's getting blitzed, but it's the exact opposite he has all day. And then on top of that, eventually you hold on to the ball too long. Your O-lineman, who is past pro this year, has been playing much better than people think, in my opinion. And it's proven true every week. But still, if you hold on to the ball too long, you're confused as a quarterback, it's going to get you. And it's also a big part of that too was Nick fucking Caley, bro. Like, there's a third down late in the game around midfield. It's like 3rd and 4. And like the 2 prior plays, first down was a holding on Hutchinson. So it was a 1st and 14 because it was spot of the foul. And so you run the ball and you ran it outside because they're dropping back. The run's there. And we ran outside the tackles because their interior was killing our interior. Zach Allen and Myers Franklin were dominating our interior. But the outside run has been there a lot against these teams, and we don't fucking do it. But this drive we did. 1st and 14, you gain 6. Next one, you gain 3 or 4. It's now 3rd and 4. And they talk about, early in the year, why we sucked is because, we're always in 3rd and long. Like, they know we're going to pass. And so now you finally get a 3rd and 4 where you had the advantage of the defense not knowing, hey, were they going to run? They're going to pass. And guess what you do? You bring in fucking Dare Ogunbowale, your 3rd down back, where every time he comes in, it's a passing down. So what do? Oh, hey, fucking Dare's in. Let's pretend like we're gonna blitz, even though it's 3rd and 4, and just drop back because they're gonna pass. And that's what they did. So it's like a big part of that too is on Kaylee. Like, one, not realizing what they're doing to fucking you. Like, you think they're running the same shit. Like, help your quarterback out, Mills, who obviously can do everything he can to prepare for the game. But like when it comes down to it, like you have to catch on to this shit and tell him, like, yes, there's still responsibility for him to be able to read the defense and do these things, but it's obvious. Like, and you have all these tendencies, all this shit we see. He is so fucking predictable. And so now, like, instead, like, you could have fucking ran the ball again. The same play that worked the previous 2 plays that got you 10 yards in 2 plays. Run that fucking play again, and you get 2 or 3 yards. Now it's 4th and 2 or 4th and 1, or you get the first down. Or you know what? Run play action. Or you know what? Don't put Dare out there and tell them what the fuck you're doing. So like a lot of that's part of it too. But so I mean, you know, Mills started out good, kind of got stumped later, and you know, I put out a tweet, you know, basically saying like silver lining to this loss is we can finally stop hearing all the bullshit about how Mills needs to play over CJ. And I know some people are like, oh, I haven't heard that. That's crazy. Like, no, a lot of fucking people were saying that. And like, we can't act like that. We all have heard it, you know, whether it's online, wherever, like, and that's fine. Like, people, when things get bad, they speculate, but it's pretty evident now, like, that's a dumbass conversation. Like, Stroud is the starter for a reason. Mills is the backup for a reason. But that being said, I'm going to sound hypocritical in the sense that I think Mills can do enough in the Jags game to help us win. So 2 things can be true at once. In that game, Mills did some good, but overall did bad. Later in the game, not only did he get stumped, he fucking missed throws. Like the 3rd and long over the middle to Christian Kirk, open, high and behind him. He had a similar kind of over the middle route to Schultz, high and behind him, tipped it up, almost got picked. The play where Nico broke up the pass and prevented an interception, which was awesome by him. I believe it was a double move. He was open for a touchdown. It was wildly underthrown inside. There was like 3 to 5 throws he missed on top of also being stumped by them changing their game plan. And we should have ran the ball. Like, that was the answer. And we should have ran the ball outside the tackles, but Kaylee didn't do it. They had their game plan once Mills came in and were stuck to it. It's like, we're doing quick game tempo with Mills and that's it. But they didn't adjust. They didn't adapt and adjust. So, but that being said, like, I know people are like, oh, he's a fucking backup. That's what he gets fucking paid for. He should come in and fucking beat him. Like, dude, he came in, like I mentioned, early in the game, had success, and then now they were able to adjust against one of the best defenses in the league, bro. Like, against one of the best defensive coordinators in the league that's very cerebral, that has a bunch of different stuff they can run. And we still almost fucking beat that team. Like, I mean, as bad as that seems. So, but that being said, though, like, projecting it onto the Jaguars, you know, you can say, oh, well, he should be prepared. Like, oh, he's been practicing fucking 1,000 days. Like, dude, practicing as a backup quarterback as opposed to being the starting quarterback that week is wildly different. We can't be saying this shit. Like, I could be saying all this stuff and he can go lay an egg and that's fine. But what I'm saying is you can't act like he should have just stepped in. Like, that is just ridiculous. Like, that's what they get paid for. Like, no, like, if he was getting paid to come step in and dominate, then he should be the fucking starter. And so, but there is a massive, massive difference in being the planned starter for that week and getting starter reps all week with your offense, with your receivers, with the game plan, seeing the opposing looks from the scout team that you're going to see in the game, as opposed to when you're the backup, you fucking go on the other side of the field and you are the scout team quarterback. You're running the other team's fucking offense. You're not doing the same shit. So, like, it is a massive difference. We can't act like we can't have that conversation. I'm not going to entertain that. So, but again, that's not me saying he's guaranteed to do well. He should do better. I believe he will do better. And this is a much not nearly as good defense in the Jaguars as the Denver Broncos. Like, that is clear as day. And so, that being said, our defense is still our defense. We may be missing a piece or two, but that defense is fucking elite. We know this. And the Jags offense is not great. We saw the last game. It was 10-10 all fucking game. And Stroud was in, yes, but he was playing like shit. The whole offense was playing like shit. And so I really do think the offense as a whole is improving. It's just obvious the one answer is short yardage. But really, the short yardage comes down to there's 3 games that stick out where short yardage was dog shit. And that was Tampa Bay, and they have Vita Vea, a freaking beast at nose tackle. And so our interior, I believe, is slightly below average, maybe close to average when it comes to run blocking on the inside. But the problem is if they go against an elite interior like Vita Vea, Bucks, you see what we saw. That was also play calling as well, but maybe it's because he's scared we can't get the push. Seattle Seahawks, interior, elite, massive mismatch. And then now you saw it again in this game with the Broncos, interior, elite, Zach Allen, Myers Franklin. That is the core of their defense. So when that happens, when we have a game where we're playing an elite interior, which isn't every week, we're fucked as far as short yardage. Like that's where Kaylee needs to. And the problem is Kaylee has let it be known what he wants to do. They want to be an aggressive, physical, downhill, inside the tackles run team. Great. But you know what? And you can do it. We've done it against teams, and it's worked, and it's a good formula. Like, do that, play action, conservative, lean on the defense, complementary football. That's a good formula against maybe half the teams we play, or maybe even more. But when you do face teams where it's not going to work, where their strength is their interior and your weakness is your interior, then adapt and fucking adjust. Don't run inside the tackles. Run some toss, sweeps, outside zone. Run play action. Run boot. Change those short yardage play calls. So, but that I say all that to say this: the Jaguars interior is nothing like that. So we can have some success in short yardage in this game. And again, I think Mills can do well. So let me get to some comments here. Let's see what we got here. So we got Brandon Halam, my guy, says, fans, we don't have any push on the O-line. Let's get Mekhi Becton. That's his specialty. Brandon Halam, Casario. I have signed Laken Tomlinson. Hilarious. Fans, damn. And then also, too, trade deadline, no moves. You literally watch us lose another game. Like, sometimes you just got to use like simple deductive reasoning for your logic. Like, we can all hash this out together. Okay, what is the weakest part of the Texans team? Offense. Yeah, no shit. Okay, what is the weakest part of the offense? Interior O-line. Yeah. Okay, what is the weakest part of the interior line? Left guard. Yeah, left guard. Laken and Scruggs. Yeah, I think that's the worst part. Okay, what happened in that game? They fucking literally just they put their best interior on the left guard and just fucking dominated. And so, in what ways does the left guard position really screw us? Short yardage. And that's like the worst part of our team overall is short yardage. If we had just not even a competent, let's like not the worst ever short yardage team, we would probably have at least 2, if not 3 more wins. I mean, that's not like something crazy to say. And again, that's partly play calling, but it mostly derives from being undermanned personnel wise. Like, I think the O-line, and I've been preaching this all year, the pass pro for the O-line is actually good. Like, the struggles we've seen early were mostly running backs and tight ends, and now that's shored up. And like, overall, the pass pro is really good. And there was some too on CJ, hold on the ball, this and that too. So like, the pass pro has been good. It's just run blocking on the interior, especially in short yardage. So, and we've eliminated the biggest issue we had last year was a lot of mental errors. We've all said it, like, coaching Popovich, I think he's done a good job in that regard. Like, last year we saw unblocked free blitzers all fucking day coming after CJ Stroud. And it wasn't because they were getting physically beat. It's because they didn't know what to fucking do. And guess what? We're not really seeing that this much this year. And when we do, it's the running back and tight end. So that has been fixed. The mental has been fixed. And so now, like, when we talk about the short yardage and run blocking there, can you coach these guys to be bigger or stronger? Like, they are limited. Laken Tomlinson and Juice Scruggs and Jake Andrew and Ed Ingram, like, they are who they are. You can yell at them all you want. You can coach them as hard as you fucking want. End of the day, when they're having to block the guy in front of them, they can only do so fucking good. You can't make someone better. That's a personnel issue. That's Nick Casario neglecting the biggest fucking weakness on the team that we all fucking knew before the season. Obvious as fuck. Oh shit. Deductive reasoning again. Worst part of offense last year was the offensive line. Worst part of our team, interior. Okay, let's go get some interior guys. No, we didn't. Like, again, Ed Ingram's been great, but he kind of lucked out on that. And I've been, supporting Ed Ingram. So I say all that to say this, like, now you see this game, your season is in the balance, hanging in the balance. You have one glaring weakness, one position, left guard, rotating guys. And literally, if you could marginally improve that position just from a skill set standpoint alone, you can give your team a chance to win at least a couple more games than what you would have. And you're supposed to be in this win now window. But and like I initially was against, like, oh, you don't trade for interior line. They don't grow on trees. They don't trade them. And if they do trade them, they go for too much. You could argue about chemistry, bring a new guy in, but like it became apparent that, like, if you really want to try and fucking win, then go fucking get somebody. But we all knew it wasn't going to happen. Nick Caserio is too much of a value whore. He will not overpay for anything. If it's by 0.001%, he won't do it because it's still an overpay. It doesn't matter what dollar amount, percentage. Overpay is an overpay. And so it's like at a certain point, you have to realize he says he doesn't know what best player, he doesn't know what a need is. Honest to God, don't know what a need is. And he also says, I don't know what a window is. Guess what? We are in a win now window with some glaring fucking needs. And you don't know what either are. So I'm sure you called about people, but you weren't fucking serious. You're only going to make a trade if you freaking bent somebody over, which who as a seller is going to get bent over? You're going to have to overpay at the trade deadline. You have none of the leverage. You're the one that needs the shit. They're sitting there like, hey, we're done. Like, we can trade these guys or not. So, and also too, like, so we could have gotten a guard, Batonio. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name, from the Browns. It was a perfect fit. Left guard. Yeah, you might overpay rental, but like if you want to win this year, that guy could really increase your chances of doing so. Or even, Wyatt Teller, or even their center was available, and Powers Johnson. Like, again, reports are reports, but like, everyone has a price. Like, these guys are available. Like, you could have made a fucking move to improve the interior. And then also too, like, at first I was like, I don't know about trading for Breece Hall. You hear a lot of it's like, I don't know, we don't need that. But after watching that game, it's like, we need a fucking running back. Like, third and short also, left guard can help. A running back can fucking help there because we have not been good blocking. But Mixon, we don't know where he's at. But last year, he made a lot of shit happen on his own. Like, terrible blocking, he fucking made shit shake. Nick Chubb's not doing that. Woody Marks is good, but he's young. Sometimes he's still not hitting the holes. Sometimes he doesn't know the plays. Like, he's still great, but like a back like Breece Hall could change he could mask a lot of your fucking bad blocking. He could make explosive plays. We don't have a lot of explosive plays. So like, I was in on that too. Like, fuck it, trade for Breece Hall. It was the asking price was a third. I get that's kind of steep, but like, are you trying to win now or not? And now you see Chubb's fucking hurt. Like, it could be Dare and Woody as our backs. Like, what are we doing? And so there's also, tight end was a position too that could have been upgraded. But on the flip side as well, it's like, okay, if you're not being all in to try and make a push, then at the very least you should offload some assets. Like, I wanted us to buy. A lot of people want us to sell. I get both sides. But you did fucking nothing. And what pisses me off is you, and I've been saying it since the offseason, you have guys like Damian Harris, and you have guys like, Damian Pierce and Christian Harris, and John Mechie was one, which we did eventually trade. But those were two guys now that are on the final deal of their rookie year. So that's an attractive piece to someone to trade because they will get them for that last year of like cheap as fuck. And so you signed EJ Speed. Christian Harris ended the year last year as a specials teamer. I know people and fans, like, we don't really know, so we speculate like, oh, he was hurt. He wasn't fucking hurt. He was playing, and he got demoted to special teams. And then you went and signed EJ Speed, who I said from the jump, like, we signed him to try and compete for a starting job. He's not a special teamer, because he had 2 years of 100 tackles. he's a productive starter in this league, and he's started for us this year already. And so to me, it's like they just told us like, hey, the writing is on the wall for Christian Harris. So like if that was already there and you already kind of knew that was the case, then fucking trade him back then. Same with Dameon Pierce. Like he is what he is. You know, he was good. He's got a year left. He's got some value. Some teams might like him. You know, hadn't fit our scheme. He might fit this scheme. But then you go get Chubb. Okay, well, Chubb just took his fucking spot. Then fucking trade him. Like, you couldn't have gotten a 7th or a 6th for them back then. And then now you wait till now and you still don't do it. So either you waited too long and there's just no value at all, or you still decided not to trade them. Like, I would imagine someone would have gave a 7th or a 6th for Dameon or Christian Harris. And on the flip side, to like someone countering that, like, well, you don't want to lose depth. They've both been healthy and active scratches multiple times this year. And they're not good special teamers. They're not. And, you know, I mean, they're not good, but they're not like something to rave about. And they're like 4th or 5th in their respective spots on the depth chart. So it's like, it's just wasted. Like, yes, a bunch of injuries could happen and it could pay off for us, but it's like, what are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be this value whore and getting stuff. Like, if you're not using these assets and you could have got something. So I know people wanted us like completely, you know, clean house and trade guys. I was not about that, but that's a valid argument for those fans too. Like, okay, you know, they probably, if they saw us be aggressive, which we know the trade deadline, not a lot of teams do it, but like they would have been okay with us not trading if we were to show that we were trading and trying to win. But like doing nothing is good and bad. It is a good thing to not, you know, get overzealous. You wonder too about the dynamics of Casario and his seat getting hot potentially. But like you would think if his seat was hot, he would like try to get some shit done. I mean, I don't know. It's just frustrating. And it's like it goes back to the same kind of like feeling we get. It's like arrogance, like a weird arrogance, like, you know, like they got it, they're fine, we're close. Like, yes, but like, fuck, dude. Like you could have been proactive in this situation and really helped yourselves by making some moves. So a couple more comments. Let's see. IG. Let me scroll up real quick. Taurus Brooks asks, "Are we cooked?" I'm not giving up yet. If we lose the Jags, we're cooked. And then Aaron says, "I feel like Mills is at least better than Lawrence." Facts, dude. 5,300 Trilla going to the Texans versus Jags game. I will be there. And then someone says, "Yeah, Rockets won 5 in a row. Rockets looking good. We blessing." And then let me see. HTX made Jesus. Mills is not better than Lawrence, bro. Not gonna lie. Nah, I think he is. Lawrence is. I mean, it may be hyperbole, but Lawrence ain't all that, dude. Lawrence is not good. And so, conservative Texans NBA on IG, get in weight room, not strong enough, especially on leg squats. I said this for years. Their line is weak. Run blocking is. Yeah, I mean, so that's true, but like, then go get guys who are already strong. You can't just make a guy stronger in a year. You know, like they are what they are. And he says 3-5, no way to make playoffs. Yeah, I mean, it's an uphill battle for sure. Let me get some of these comments over here. T says play Mertz. I mean, I like Mertz. Y'all were shitting on Mertz. I told y'all he was good in the preseason. He had one bad game. Everyone went off on him. All those picks, and like none of them were his fault. And then the last game, he balled out. Like from what I saw in camp, like he's balling. And I saw the same shit from Mills. Like when Mills was in practice, he was balling all camp. In the preseason games, when he prepped for the games, he was balling. Like Mills has the stuff to help us win this game. Dre Eagle says, as long as this defense is around, we will always have a chance. Not giving up yet. LOL. Exactly. And that's my whole shit. That's my whole belief. Like the defense has kept us in every game, and they will continue to keep us in every game. And so right now, like I know it's cliche, but like all we have to do is win this Jacksonville game and then worry about the next shit. I mean, after that, you got Tennessee. And then I believe you got Buffalo, who I think we can beat. Short week at home. We've seen Josh Allen in NRG, what happened last year. And I really do think it's just beat Jacksonville right now because Stroud's out. Like this is our Super Bowl. I really do think Stroud turned a corner. It just sucks that our margin for error is like next to nothing now. And now we have these injuries, but I feel like the offense is going to get rolling and had been rolling once Stroud gets back. So um, it's just we can't slip up in the meantime. And Tennessee Tennessee will be it should be an easy game, but hey, I mean we've seen things happen, but it's at Tennessee. But obviously you hope Stroud's back for that one. Chris, I'm going to need more than a tall boy this Sunday. That's fair. Uh, and then Chris says Petrie hurts himself hitting so damn hard. Yeah, that's probably very true. And then Jacadon, Nick Caley is so stubborn with his play calling. Facts. Dre Eagles, I think they stashed J Rock on IR to give that other cornerback some play, some roster gymnastics, if you will. LOL. Could be, but I think they did IR like for the year. I don't know if he's like able to come back, but I didn't even hear what his injury was. Jacadon Mills is going to have 125 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 1 for pick 6. Nah, fam, you're tripping. I know people don't trust the Mills, but I'm telling y'all, he's going to play a good game. But even too, like, let's just say, like, hypothetically, Mills like fucking cooks, like 3 touchdowns, 300 plus yards. People will be saying too, oh, start him over CJ. Like, no, like if Mills has a good game, even not even like a crazy game like that, like a decent to average game, you can still acknowledge good job, but you're not better than CJ. Like, no matter what happens, if we lose and he sucks and he's the worst quarterback ever, if we win and he's good, then he's better than CJ. Like, maybe he's just a backup who's not bad, who can win us the game and can play well and play good enough to beat the Jags, which shouldn't be that much. Ernest on Facebook, Nick Caley is learning on the job and he's going through growing pains. Would it be a mistake to let him go for an experienced OC? And that's part of the whole thing about this is like, it's frustrating because we're losing games as he's learning and he's had his ups and downs. I've seen plenty of good from him. Like, really, the biggest gripe with him is short yardage. And part of that is personnel from Casario's fault, but he also has to adapt. And he does show a lot of fucking tendencies. And some of that is in short yardage. Like in the Seahawks game, we ran the fullback dive with Brooks. Once we did this motion, it's this fucking play. And did the same thing against the Broncos and they sniffed it out because they watched the film and we ran it twice in a row. And the QB sneak, like, run the fucking QB sneak. Like, when we get down the first time in the goal line with Stroud, you're on 3rd and goal and inches to go, and you run another fullback dive to Brooks, who, by the way, British Brooks, love him. He is a running back who's now playing fullback. He played like a little bit last year. So basically his first year playing fullback, not experienced. So he's learning on the go as well. He's also 30 pounds lighter than your average fullback. He's like 220 pounds. Jakob Johnson, who comes back, that's a big one, is 250. I love British Brooks. He makes good blocks when he's from, not a formal I form, lead blocking role, but if he's like offset with a wham block, he can make good blocks. And he's done some good, but we can't afford for all these guys to be learning new shit. Like, Jakob Johnson needs to be the starting fullback, and that could help some of our short yardage stuff if it comes up in the Jacksonville game. So, but yeah, so, the way it is now, you're not going to bring anyone in right now today to turn this season around for the Texans. Like, if we want to make a playoff push, it has to come from within. So next year, maybe end of the year, if shit gets real bad and Caley doesn't progress, then yes, you see it. And so, again, I may sound like a hypocrite. Like, I am highly critical of Caley, but I'm also not on the fire Caley train quite yet. I mean, we'll see how it shakes out in the coming weeks, but there is that argument there. I mean, you could have made that argument with Slowick where you put in all this time and effort to build into it, and then you just fucking get rid of it and dump it, and now you start anew. So, but I do agree. Like, we should have gotten an experienced OC from the fucking jump. Like, because we're in win now, we're not some experimental fucking team. Like, we need someone who's proven. But here we are, Brandon says, felt like Mills was staring down receivers and making it easy for the defense. He was getting stumped. Like, they were dropping into coverages when he thought they were blitzing, and he freaked out. He almost threw like 4 picks. The one that was a bad ball to Nico. There were several times where he did it and would look real quick and his clock was sped up. Thought it was blitz, but it wasn't. It was zone. And then he would kind of create his own pressure because he held onto the ball. And then he would just fucking chunk it and into like 3 guys. Like, it could have been a lot worse. DeRhino says Casario has plenty of football knowledge, but no football execution. Yep. Brandon, until it comes Until it comes to wasting money on Jimmy Ward and Nyman and other players he has had blown money on. Yeah, he's had a bunch of blown money. Zach Calderon, Ernest Rodriguez, because his first year as a Houston Texans coordinator. Will, if the Houston Texans would fire Nick Caley, then it's hard for the Texans to find a. I guess you're responding to somebody. Brandon says, feels like Dameon Pierce is always hiding until the trade deadline passes and he reappears. Yeah, that's crazy. Ernest says, when was the last time a third round pick developed? Trading for Brees would have been the move. We've actually been really good in the third round. I believe Tank Dell. I don't know if Nico is in the third. I think the one bad third round pick was Christian Harris. So we had Jalen Smith. I think Kalen Bullock. So, I mean, we've actually done good in the third round. But, and he says Nick doesn't know what a window is, but should know what urgency is with the defense. Yeah, exactly. And, like the more we think about this too, it's tough because we can only guess as to like the dynamics. Like, this is why people, when a new head coach comes in, wants that head coach to be able to start clean. Whereas Caserio is here, head coach fired, D'Amico, we're keeping both. Hey, you fucking work with him, which it seems and feels like it has or had been working good, but we don't also know who's really running the show. Like, is it Caserio doing most of it and D'Amico agreeing and vice versa? And Caserio has his hands on fucking everything. Like, it's cool as a fan because you listen to these interviews, but like he's game planning, he's scouting, like watching film on opponents. Like, why aren't you fucking scouting the fucking people you need to fucking sign and draft? Like, why are you in the day-to-day operations? Like, it's the guy was a former position coach for the Patriots. Like, they had a guy get fired, receiver or whatever it was, and he stepped in and became the coach. So it's like he's like a wannabe coach almost. Like, it's good, but it's also bad. You're like a master of all, master of none, or whatever you call it. Like, focus on your fucking job. Like, these are the things that start to come to light now, like when things are getting tough. And so, but like, you also wonder about the dynamics. Like, you hear D'Amico talk, and D'Amico had some, we'll get to videos here, but like he had some frustrating words after the game about the goal line. It's like, we just need to man up and out physical him. It's a mindset. Like, no, it's fucking not. Like, if I'm 180 pounds and you tell me to go block that 240-pound guy, no matter how hard you fucking tell me to try and have a mindset, I can only do so much. That is what's going on with us. Like, it's not mental, like it's fucking physical. So to hear him say that was kind of discouraging. And so like, but like, if that's the case, like if the offenses that we've had are philosophies that are trickled down from D'Amico because he wants this type, he's the head coach and he wants this type of offense to complement his defense and his strategy of defensive minded team, ball control offense, physical, run the ball, conservative, control the field position, etc. And that is through his philosophy of physical up front, running the ball. Then why didn't we go get the fucking personnel for it? Why didn't we get interior linemen for it? So it's like, were you allowed to make these decisions, or were you part of the decisions? The approach that Caserio took on the O-line, as far as let's just fucking say fuck it and get whoever and coach them up and like make it an ego thing. Like, so it's tough for us fans to know, and we get muddied answers, but like that could kind of help clarify a lot if there was a way to find out. And regardless, like if things get worse, to me, I've been saying it, Caserio's on the, I'm not saying fire Caserio. I've never said that. I never said fire anybody, but he has the hottest seat. And so if things do get worse and someone gets canned, he should be the first one to go. And I guarantee you at that point, more stuff would come out and he would become made the scapegoat, whether he was or not. So that's what's interesting in all this too, is just, and even Nick Caley also adapts this. He says the same shit D'Amico says, like physical, whatever offense. So was he allowed to help with the personnel decisions? If so, if not, why the fuck not? Why would you not let the guy running his kind of offense have input on the type of players? And it feels like it's not, because when you listen to Caserio, he talks about best player available, and he talks about not knowing what a need is. And he was asked, like, why didn't you draft linemen? Why'd you trade back? Why'd you draft multiple receivers back to back? And he says, it's up to the coaches to figure it out. So it does feel like that's what it is Casario, based off their grades, which could be fucking ass in certain situations, um, you know, we're just going to draft the best absolute value, whatever, despite position. We're just going to get good football players. We're not going to address specific spots of need, and that's up to the coaches to figure it out. Like, it turns out like that isn't really fucking working, you know? So, I mean, I've said the same thing. Like, it's good we got receiver depth, but it's also fucked up too when you go and draft receivers over linemen and you don't even fucking play them. And then you don't even throw it to them. So it's like, that makes it even worse. But I love Higgins and Knoll, but why sign Christian Kirk? And then now that was a massive overpay. He hasn't even played at all. But like, when we signed him, his contract's like 15, 16, 18 million. I was like, oh, like we'll restructure it, you know, because he was about to get cut and we could have signed him for like 12, you know, we could have got him for less, but we just kept it as a favor. Like, no, you can keep that contract, bro. We'll keep you happy. And yeah, and he's not earning it, you know. It's just frustrating. So Caleb Mills kept overthrowing receivers and forgot Nico Collins as wide receiver 1. Yeah, it's because I think they changed their coverage. Kerry Clay, how about we give Brooks some spin at RB? We might have to. They've been playing him at tight end some too, so if tight ends are hurt. Kerry says, I wish we had gotten Mike McCarthy. Vet OC has seen a lot. Dude, thank you. So my number 1 was Chip Kelly. I know he's been bad there, but to me, Chip Kelly, he would run CJ Stroud's college offense. He was with Ryan Day. And, you know, he's doing bad there. He could be doing good here. Experienced, you know, can be advanced in his offense and spread it out more. And I had Mike McCarthy and Doug Peterson as my next 2. All 3 experienced with spread elements. It's simple reasoning and logic. CJ's good at spread. He's good at up tempo. He's good at, you know, hitting hot routes. Like what we saw in the Niners game was like the most we've seen of that, and he fucking killed it. Simple logic. I agree. Brandon says there's only one person responsible for Jared Wayne seeing the field. Austin Hardis says defense is so good. Not being able to match that quality on offense is so frustrating. I agree, man. It's very frustrating. Josh on IG says Nick Kelly needs to fucking go. He's trash. That's funny. Yeah, so let's get through some stuff on X. So, or actually, you know what? Let's go through just like the game real quick, NFL. And I've been like every week, man, I'm like, man, I want to go on Sunday night because it's like fresh. Like, oh, I want to go Monday night. Oh, I want to go Tuesday night. And then I go Wednesday and it's 3 days later. So, you know, I'm sorry if this is, you know, reliving, you know, traumatic bad game. But so my schedule permits. So this is not me just beating a dead horse. It's just I'm just now getting to it. So, but you know, it's only a couple days past, and then I like to, you know, grind the film and post it. So I'll probably be posting clips tomorrow. So just because I'm posting clips later doesn't mean I'm sulking in the loss. And even if that is, like, who gives a shit? People, too many trolls online always talking crap about it. So, but yeah, Brandon says Jags are missing people too. So yeah, they definitely are. We'll get into that. But let me share my screen here. Let's see. I'm using StreamYard, which I haven't used in a while. So let's see if I can do this. How do I share my browser on here? All right. Let's see. Share, present, share screen. And it will be, we're going to do this. So we'll go through box score. So both had 15 first downs. Let me zoom in a little bit for you boys. So third down, we were terrible. 3 of 17, and that's what killed us in the second half. Is they converted like 3 or 4 third downs in the second half. They were getting crushed on third down prior, so they were 6 of 15. We were 1 of 1 on fourth down. Total plays 61 to our 72. So like at half, it was like a much bigger discrepancy. Total yards 271 to 268, dude, with the fucking backup quarterback. Passing 171 to 191. Rushing 100 to 77. Penalties both had 4. Red zone 0 for 1 for them, 0 for 3 for us. I guess both their touchdowns were just outside the red zone. And then turnovers. Another turnover battle game. 2 turnovers for them, 0 for us, and we lost. We've lost so many games where we've had 2 to 3 to 4 plus in the turnover battle. Like, it's embarrassing at this point. Time of possession, 25 minutes for them, 34 for us. Like, we controlled this game, dude. So this box score a little bit further in. Yeah, Bo Nix, 18 of 37, dude. 18 of 37, 173 yards, average of 4.7 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 sack, 68.9 rating, and he beat us. Give him credit for the clutch run down the stretch, but he missed some throws. I mean, they have an offense that has easy buttons coming into the game where they run screens and this and that. And every offense has done that against our defense because it's so damn good. And it was the same shit. And our key to the game was to shut those things down. We did. We shut the screens down. Kamari Lassiter, Jalen Petrie, they were just beating blocks left and right. Davis Mills, 17 of 30. So, I mean, Davis Mills played better than, I mean, based off that, but like the rating's basically the same, but like Mills played about the same as Bo Nix. And he had 137 yards, 4.6 average, 2 sacks. CJ Stroud was 6 of 10, 79 yards, 7.9 average, 2 sacks. One was a run where he got tackled at the line of scrimmage. So that's kind of bogus. 85 rating. So Stroud was dealing. Rushing, dog shit. I mean, didn't get anything going. Averaging 2.7 for Woody, 10 for 27, 11 for 34 for Chubb. Obviously, Stroud got hurt. He was running the ball 2 for 12. And let's see here. J.K. Dobbins, 15 for 61, 4.1 yards average. Bo Nix had that big one. So that is an issue, too, for us late in games. Defense does great, but they kind of get put in position time and time again to keep trying to save the game for us. And it looked like Tim Settle it's like the Henry T play against the Buccaneers. Like, guys in those moments get too overzealous to make the big play and lose their discipline at the wrong time. You play like nearly a perfect game as far as discipline goes in your pass rush. And then all of a sudden Settle leaves the B gap on the opposite side of a rollout and tries to go around, leaves this huge hole, and then also the pocket had moved this way. And they talked about how it was something they did, multiple times, but every time they looked, the rush lanes were taken. But then also, so Settle moves, and then Henry, the backer, moves with the play. And so not only is Settle not there, but Henry's not there. There's a huge wide open, like, parting of the seas for Nick. So Dalton Schultz, another great game, 6 for 77. Nico Collins, 7 for 75. And that's pretty much it for us. RJ Harvey caught a touchdown for them on Henry To'oTo'o. Got out schemed. They knew that if they motioned him here and they got Henry To'oTo'o in this coverage, they'd beat him. So basically he faked like an option or a Texas route and then ran a go, and Henry like almost fell down. I will say in this game, not excuses. The refs were pretty bad. I know people will point to the Kamari one and call that PI. To me, it's not. That's not really called PI that often. Yes, he got there early, but it's like bang, bang. And the guy dropped it, obviously, because he was hit. But I mean, I feel like their receivers had several offensive pass interferences that they did not call. One of which was Derek Stingley the play before. They threw a touchdown on him where he was pulled back and he would have picked the ball off. So, like, if not, it's at least a 15-yard penalty backwards. Happened to Kamari a couple times. They kind of OPI'd him. There was a holding call late that set up one of their touchdowns that wasn't called on the edge, I believe, on Kamari that they didn't call towards him. There were several plays, man. Like, it looked like their left tackle was holding quite a bit on Danielle Hunter. Yeah, I mean, I'm not making excuses. I'm just kind of highlighting those things. That spot, obviously, we could have challenged, but despite all that, we played well enough to win and should have won, but we didn't. But Troy Franklin was targeted. Where's the targets at? 10 times, had 4 catches for 27 yards. Like, Kamari shut him down. Cortland Sutton, 1 catch, 30 yards. Stingley got burnt. You look at it, looks like he might have had help, but like the way I analyzed the play, it seemed like he just was man and had a safety shaded to his side, but that safety was there for more of like inside post help, and he basically had anything deep to the sideline. 3rd and 10, presses him. Okay, fine. We'll get your hands on him. Doesn't even touch him. So you press him and then let him get a free release, and then he still beats you deep on a go route. He fakes inside, fakes outside, then slips inside, and then widens back out, and he's wide open. It was a good ball by Bo, and then the 2-point conversion by Bo was nice. That was a tight window and a heck of a catch. He does have a good arm. He wasn't afraid to chunk it up. There was a play where Kamari made a hell of a play to find the ball and track it. We also dropped several picks ourselves. Kamari, it was a tough ask, but he made a great play and could have caught one. Stingley ran across the field like this and dropped one. So, I mean, there's a lot of plays in this game, but anyhow, yeah, Danico Autry, junkyard dog. Sean Payton for the game talked about it, blocked a kick. And so next up, we'll go to PFF, kind of go over some grades. I haven't even looked at these yet, but again, PFF, take it for what it's worth. Player grades aren't necessarily the end-all be-all. We like to look at them, match up what we see, and if it meets the eye test, cool. If not, just something to look at. But first off, the schedule, like looking at our grades, we were graded a 64.6. So that's, one of our lower end graded games of the year. So, I mean, not our worst, but not our best. Offensively is a 56. Defensively is a 68.8. I don't agree with that. They played great defensively. That's just surface level, obviously. Special teams played well. Blocked kick, had a muffed punt. But Tommy did have some bad punts late in the game that cost us. There was their punter late in the game had some fucking amazing punts that changed the game. But to me, one of the biggest plays of the game that cost us the game was Tommy hit an excellent punt. We're getting it on the 1, and Jamal Hill just runs in there and touches it while he's in the end zone, or touches the guy while he touches it while he's in the end zone. Goes from going on the 1 late in the game with them backed up, with our defense potentially getting a safety, or at the very least getting us the ball back more than likely around midfield, where you only need 1 first down for a field goal to go ahead with minutes left, to a touchback to the 20. That fucked us. That was the biggest play of the game, in my opinion. And it's just situational awareness, like being aware. Like, I love Jamal Hill. He's a great player, great special teamer for us, developing, could be a starter, but it was just a bad play. But yeah, we'll go into the offensive grades. Schultz was our highest at 75, Nico at 75 as well, Ed Ingram 70, Stroud at 68, Fisher did okay, came in for Titus Howard, got a concussion. Dare 62, Kirk 61, Chubb 57, Howard 57, and then Ursery 55, but then Juice Scruggs 46. He played 34 snaps. Laken Tomlinson 56, Jaden Higgins 53, Bryant Marks in the 50s, low 50s. Jake Andrews 46, Davis Mills 43. That checks out. I mean, a lot of these grades check out with me. Jalen Knoll only played 11 snaps, had a 42. So, that's the thing too. Knoll not getting snaps with Kirk back. A big portion of this may be because, Mills didn't really get the ball around, but he didn't play. I had to fully watch it. People were saying, he couldn't block on some plays too, so that could be part of it. But I mean, it's tough to really judge everybody. Like Kirk in that game, he was there. Mills wasn't hitting him. Yeah, so going back over to defense. On defense, Kalen Bullock, he's been balling. He had a slow start to the year, but now he's balling, dude. 82.7. Will, 82. Balling. Neil Hunter, 78.6. Balling. Sting, 78.4. And so he seems worse this year, but he's still our standard for Sting is so high that like now it feels like he's terrible, but he's still playing at a pretty good level overall. I do feel like he's been battling an oblique injury, is getting back from that. I do also believe a handful of plays where it seems like he gets beat, not in this game, other games, and it's not his fault. So it's tough as fans. Like, it's hard if you don't really dive in and know all the X's and O's. And even then, we still don't know for sure. So, and these grades also don't know for sure. Petrie played well, 65. Barnett, 67. Henry T, 64. I thought he played bad. Missed a lot of tackles again. Or missed a handful of tackles. I shouldn't say a lot, but let's see if it says missed tackles on here. Tackling, he missed one. Petrie missed 2. Aziz missed 5 tackles. Ooh, boy. And let's see. Kamari. They graded Kamari at a 59, bro. Come on, man. And there were plays where he got beat, but to me, again, I need to check, but like, we had several miscommunications late in the game where guys were running wide open. And to me, it seemed like he wasn't at fault. I need to check the film to see if I can find out. But like, from where I was watching, I could see D'Amico pre-snap like freaking out, waving his hands. You're like, oh shit. And then you watch the play and there's like a bust. It's like, okay, someone messed up. So Settle had a bad game. Wow. 34.2. Autry only played 14 snaps, 46. Togiai, he made a couple good plays, 47. That's pretty much it on there. So, we could dive in more on other kind of stats on there, but I don't know if it's worth it. Let me see if NFL Pro has anything to check out from the game. Share this tab instead. Let's go to. Let me look at y'all. Y'all don't see it. Oh, y'all see it. Okay. Let's see if there's insights from. How is there no insights for this game yet? Next Gen is slacking, dude. No insights. So then we'll go back to, let's go to games. Let's see what happened if they updated some from last week. Let's find the Texans game. I mean, look at that win probability. We're almost the whole game projected to win. That's crazy. And then just blew it late in the game. That's terrible. Insights. And so here's some stuff. Both of Nick's deep completions of 20-plus air yards went for touchdowns. And he finished just 2 of 10 on deep balls. 2 of them went for touchdowns. That's crazy with the minus 9.9 completion percentage over expected. That's nuts, dude. And then Davis Mills, in relief of CJ Stroud, who left Sunday's game's concussion. Davis Mills completed 17 of 30 for 137, averaging just 2.6 seconds to throw. So like, that was their game plan, was quick game with Mills, and he was getting rid of it quick, but sometimes too quick. And then when he didn't, obviously it was too long, but he thrived on quick passes under 2.5 seconds, completing 11 of 16 for 88 yards while completing just 6 of 14 passes longer than 2.5 seconds. So, you wonder if we'll see that in this next game. And so Derek Stingley Jr. lined up across from Cortland Sutton on 27 of Sutton's 34 routes, allowing 1 reception for a 30-yard touchdown across 2 targets. I mean, the touchdown sucked, but he played pretty good overall. And so that was it going into the game, I believe. But yeah, so let's get to the timeline, start looking at some press clips and videos. And then Brandon says Texans have a chance to displace the Jags for a top 3 turnover differential in NFL on Sunday. That'll be good. Brandon says this game felt like the one that broke the defeated a lot of Houston media for the season. And he says Jags definitely missing people this week. Yep, we'll get into that. So almost putting a bow on all this shit for so here is Sean Payton, prior to the game about Danico Autry. Let me share this tab instead. And, I'm supposed to have my headphones on here, but it sounds like they're not on. So let me see if I should find a way to connect my headphones real quick. Speaker needs to be this damn AirPod. I've been wearing this shit the whole time. It's not even on. So, yeah, let's see if it'll work now. AirPod. Give me 1 sec. See if I can get this AirPod connected. I don't even know if it's on here. Sorry, guys. Hang in there 1 second. Trying to get my AirPod on. You know what? I'm going to play it like this. Let me know if the sound is bad.
So this Autry now has had, if I believe, 16 blocks. So then I asked Patrick, the history of the NFL. Don't tell him. Can you tell me who has the most block. Some of you should be able to. Played in your division. Ted Hendricks. What's the number, Pat? It was like 23.
Yeah, 23.
But this is.
They didn't call him the Storks.
Yeah, this guy's done. One of the keys to victory first day of the week was, man, field goal protection and understanding 16 is like rare. And so that's important. So
and then he blocks a kick on their first drive, which they only got in a field goal position because we missed our kick. And so they only had to get 2 first downs. So let me know how that audio was. I'm going to keep doing that because my AirPods are dead. But yeah, so kind of just keep scrolling through. Yeah, the Colts lost, missed opportunity there. So I mean, Daniel Jones came down to earth. Like if they play a good defense, it's not going to be as easy as it was for them. So they're a great team. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they're being, pumped up a little too much. I mean, we had a chance to. Let me look at the standings real quick. Let me see NFL standings. It's just so crazy. Like this game shoulda, woulda, coulda, easily fucking won this game. Almost won with the backup quarterback for over half the game, for three-fourths of the game, and you lose. But instead of being 3-4 we're 3-5. So we would have been 2.5 games back from the Colts with 2 games left against them. I mean, that's a pretty big deal there. So that's why that shit stings. But back to the timeline. Let me see here. Going back through. So yeah, late in the game too, that was a drive. We get the ball back like on our own 10 with like a minute something left. And we run like fucking 3 passes. And like first one gets complete out of bounds and incomplete pass and another short completion. Waste no time. They don't use any timeouts. They get the ball back with all that time. And, an offense in the second half that had done shit, like 70 yards maybe, and you decide to do that, that was very questionable. So, but onward we go. Yeah, the hit on Stroud, I guess we'll get to that. So, so there's also a play right here where there's a no holding call on Harrison Bryant on a screen, which is an obvious hold there, as you can see. And, they would have set up 1st and 10, and then instead we get a sack and don't get any points, miss a field goal. So here is D'Amico Ryans. Well, first, I'm going to show you all the hit in slow-mo on CJ. So I guess we'll talk about this real quick, but I'm consistent, not because I'm trying to not be a hypocrite, but like I thought the Aziz hit was being wildly overblown. I thought it wasn't a dirty play. I thought that was mostly, if not all, on Trevor Lawrence for not committing to a slide. He was trying to get a first down, didn't decide, then slid late. And he just happened to hit him in the head because he was already lunging forward. And then, a brawl breaks out, gets a penalty, gets ejected, gets suspended for 3 games. And then, we've seen a bunch of other hits. And then, like I said, when I saw this play from my vantage point, it looked bad. But then when I see it here, there is a big onus on CJ Stroud here. He's not getting down, not sliding. So it's not a dirty hit. It's a clean hit to me. But the issue,
but really,
this is something that we've all talked about. Like Stroud is an awkward slider. He's an uncomfortable runner. To me, it's inexperience and it's not having confidence. And the biggest thing for me is indecision. And I've been talking about this for a while, not only in this, but like just overall running wise. He always, when he does decide to run, it's like almost always too late, or like could have done it a fraction sooner and gotten more yards. And then when you do, like fucking run. Like don't be like, oh, should I run? No, like make up your mind and do it or don't. And the same thing applies to sliding, like slide or don't. But, D'Amico will hear him talk about it. 2 things can be true. I can think that this is a clean hit, but also y'all have been calling it a certain way, so you should still call it a certain way. So I'm not going to like cry about the hit and call it a dirty hit because it's not to me. But to throw the flag and then pick it up, but then also call us for bullshit all the fucking time is fucked up. Like our defensive players get every kind of fucking penalty called on us for roughing the passer on a bunch of bullshit. So I get where D'Amico's coming from. And then like my over analyzing on this too is Stroud is running. You can see in slow-mo, and he sees the guy last second right there. And so now he realizes, hey, if he slides, and this to me, this is similar to unnecessary roughness on receivers over the middle. Like that also is super fucking frustrating to me. Quarterbacks throw a ball into a tight window, put a defender in a bad spot. And in those situations, the defender commits, but the receiver now, whatever they decide to do dictates where he gets hit. If a receiver stands up high, he gets hit in the head. Or sometimes he can duck into it. But like the defender makes their move, and then the ball carrier is the one who can then move. Since this guy's already left and made his motion, he's already established his direction. Whichever way this guy reacts can be the determination of whether it's a hit in the head or neck area. It's the same fucking shit right here. So like this really looks like CJ sees the guy late at his peripheral and he's like, oh shit, he's coming. Okay, I'm going to slide, or, I'm doing whatever this is. I'm going to try and stop, sit down. But then like right here, if he were just like to drop down and slide, the guy will smack him in the face. So like he gets stuck in no man's land where he's like, And so he would have been better off sliding and getting fucking concussed and hitting the head and getting this guy ejected and chastised by the entire NFL. Instead, he tried not to get hit in the head and then ends up hitting his head on the turf anyway. So it's just the irony there is crazy. Like if he actually slid or knew how to slide better, and nothing would have changed by the defender. That's the whole point. So like I still think it's a bullshit play in general, like in the league overall, but it's also a lot of hypocrisy in the way it's being called. So here's D'Amico Ryans on that.
Of course, he slid, and the guy, came up and hit him. As I see, is unnecessary roughness. And he hit the quarterback when he's sliding and giving himself up. If I'm incorrect on the rule, I've seen that happen multiple times, with our guys, and we get the penalty, but for some reason, it just didn't happen there. So we'll look at the film and see, what actually happened there. At the end of the day, we lost our starting quarterback, all right, because of the play. And anytime you lose your starting quarterback, it's always tough. Davis battled, tried to do a good job there. He battled, but we just didn't do well offensively once we.
Yeah, so I like that answer from D'Amico there. Let me see. I just removed what I was sharing. Let's see. Share screen. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, they can call him a hypocrite, but I mean, like I explained how that went down. So going back through, and then Schultz, Hunter, trying to see if there's some good other clips. So here's D'Amico talking about that last drive that I talked about, that he should have ran the ball.
That you all had. Was there any thought to maybe running the clock down just a little bit more, especially with the Broncos having 2 timeouts left?
Yeah, the thought there, we wanted to get some quick passes to get us moving. We're trying to drive down and, of course, try to get in field goal range. But to have a couple quick incompletions, it was not the plan at all for us.
Situational awareness, man. It's like, they're aggressive when they don't need to be aggressive, and then they're not aggressive when they do need to be aggressive. It's just like, come on, man. Like, especially late in games, man. So shout out BG, man. Appreciate you, bro. That makes me feel, I was worried. I was concerned. And then Aziz talking about it. Like, Aziz, this is worth listening to the whole thing. Like, Aziz has a big case to make on this, and he says some cool stuff about the hit.
What were your thoughts when CJ got knocked out?
Oh, this audio is low as hell. Damn. So basically, Aziz talked about like when the hit happened, he went over to Abrams, whatever his name is, and he's like, "Hey, man, like I know how it's gonna be. They're gonna like throw a flag. They're probably gonna eject you." Like, and going to him to like console him as someone who's been in that spot, like because he saw this, and maybe it looked worse than what he thought. And then he finds out, like, not only that, it's not even a flag. They picked the flag up. So he's like, wait, what the fuck? Like, y'all ain't doing shit to him, but y'all, like, made me, like, the villain. Like, y'all suspended me? So he's got a big case here. Like, it's the same shit. I mean, I know people were, like, freeze framing, like, well, he was down, he wasn't, and this and that. Like, It's the same shit. It's a bang bang play, and it's a matter of a flip of a coin as to like what the freeze frame turns out to be. The point that D'Amico made is he gave himself up in the same manner that it was obvious he was giving himself up. Yes, he can slide better, but from that point, it was the same thing that Trevor did. Like, and it's just how it shook out in the end. So, yeah. And then here's Mahomes. They finally didn't call on him, but if that's the Texans right here, where he tries his bullshit jumping bounds and then get hit, and I'm sure, and he's calling for the flag, like flailing, like, come on, bro. Like, we got to stop protecting quarterbacks. And I'm not asking for us to protect CJ. I'm just asking for consistent ruling. And not really the same on Trevor and CJ. I disagree, dude. I mean, if you look at it, Aziz launches forward around the same time. And so, you know, to me, there's a lot of inconsistent ruling on it. And I am protected offensive player in both. But it sounds like what happened is they changed the way they ruled the play. And so it's not called a penalty if you don't hit in the head or neck area, which is fucking bullshit. Like, if you hit a player as they're giving themselves up, regardless, it should be a penalty. As I pointed out earlier, whether or not you hit them in the head or neck area depends on the way the guy with the ball moves in a split second. The defender commits to his launch. He can't move. He's already at whatever level that is. And now, based off of what that person does, like if Trevor didn't slide all the way down and kind of stayed up, he would have gotten hit in the chest and it wouldn't have been head or neck area. So it's like, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, and here's the big hold on Kamari on 3rd and inches. They get the first down, and I believe it's like touchdown like the next play. So, you know, there's a lot of big plays in the game. I thought this was pretty cool. Lakin, you know, obviously didn't play well, but he was visibly upset by the injury to CJ Stroud.
Practice and get better.
When CJ goes down, how tough is that on you guys emotionally? Did that I don't know, affect anything, but just what was it like for you guys when that happens?
You know, obviously, you know, it's tough, but
that's what you want to see, man.
It's tough, you know. So I feel like Davis came in, did a great job for us, and you know, yeah.
That's respectable. I mean, regardless of how you think he is playing wise, like I will take that. So, Jalen Noel, yep, didn't play. And then this was a good play. This was CJ Stroud beat the blitz. He hit Schultz over the middle on a bender route, basically a deep slant against the blitz, and gashed him, dude. Let's see, kind of scrolling through here, see what else we got. There's Schultz hitting Nico on a fade that we talked about, kind of still going. Here's the play about, you know, Nico like freeze frame. He's like inches from the goal line, and kind of still going. And so, yeah, this is what I talked about earlier, that 3rd and 2 where Dario is in 3rd and 4. Like there was no reason to have him in, and bad play call, predictable pass play. And here's D'Amico on Monday on the hit on CJ Stroud.
Yeah, look, it's a tough play, right? Quarterback is sliding. I thought the quarterbacks are protected when they slide, but what I'm learning is if you hit them, don't hit them in the head or neck area, they slide. You hit them in the chest, and that's just fine. So that's what I learned.
That's what I just said. Like, and so you're just, as a defender, you just hope that the ball carrier doesn't move last second. It's the same thing as a defenseless receiver. And so D'Amico on Monday was asked about short yardage. Here's his answer.
A lot of what ifs, right? We throw the ball on the goal line. We don't get in. Hey, you guys should run the ball more. We run the ball. We don't get in. Hey, you should throw. So there's always a wish I would have.
I hear that to an extent, but like, what about this? Like, play action under center. Like, you are showing that you like to run the ball up the middle under center. How about you play action from under center, not shotgun? Like that would probably work. Or you know what? Play action boot CJ Stroud out of there. Like, come on, man.
What I would have done different, look back at it, do it different. Look, I approach the game from a physical mindset of, hey, if you're on the 1 yard line and we got to knock somebody back to get in the end zone, that's how I approach it. And that's how I always approach
We gotta, but we can't. So do something else.
it. And then when we do get in the end zone on the 4th down, we got a false start. So
Well, whose fault is that? That's y'all's fault. And guess what? Don't wait till fucking 4th down to call the fucking quarterback sneak to give yourself a chance to run the fucking play. And they did get in on that. I saw it. That's what makes it even worse. Run it on fucking 3rd down.
it's like we got in the end zone. CJ got in, and points are taken off the board because we have a false start. We're not locked in on the snap. So it's just so many things there that goes in. Yeah.
It's because the play call probably took forever to get in. They're all probably fucking pissed off. You don't know you're going to go for it on 4th down. Call the shit on 2nd down. Call the shit on 3rd down. Run the fucking quarterback sneak on any 3rd and yard or less.
There's a physical mindset. That's what this game is built on. You have to.
And also, too, where's the tush push and shit? We're supposed to adapt and adjust. You are allowed to put other players behind our ball carriers and push them forward. Every team has done it to us. The Seahawks did it multiple times. They had a run play where the running back was stuffed and the lineman grabbed him and pulled him forward. We can still use other people to help our guys go. It's just, what the fuck? And I got roasted for this, but I suggested weeks ago, why not put a defensive player like Will Anderson Jr. on offense? If the short yardage is that fucking bad and you don't have the personnel and they're not executing and they're undermanned, undersized, then put one of these offensive fucking players over there and make it shake. Will Anderson Jr. could make it happen. Tim Settle Jr., one of these other guys could make it happen, blocking or ball carrying or pushing, get creative. And so we'll get to it later, but it sounds like they'll get creative, but still, come on.
Have that mindset, and you should want to be in those situations where, hey, we got to knock somebody out the ball to go get 1 yard. If you don't have that mindset, then you're probably not going to get in.
With Robinhood,
Yeah, and so Carrie Clay on Facebook, 1,000%. That's what I've been preaching. It's about being aware. Exactly. You can want to be physical, but it's not working that game. So do something else in that instance. It's not. It's just and I posted here hey, Nick Caley, here's a naked boot. Remember this one from Peyton Manning against the Cowboys? Boom. Look at that. Everyone loading the box because all you do is run up the middle right there. It's just come on, man. And so Will, let's see. Here's Will on the hit on CJ after the game.
See one of your really good friends, CJ Stroud, go down like that.
Yeah, man, it was very unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a BS call. We talk about protecting quarterbacks. CJ's a big name in this league. He's a quarterback that a lot of people love and watch, and we love him in here. And I hope we can get him back whenever we do. And we just gonna keep fighting for him. And yeah.
It's fact they don't give CJ any fucking calls. That Seahawks game, he got roughed 3 or 4 times, and then we get a blindside block on that same play. It's just fucking ass backwards, dude. But yeah, Texans Cat posted a visual. We have 0 touchdowns scored with 2 yards or less to go. And then here's Davis Mills after the game, talking about the game and the adjustments.
Denver adjusted or did. Looked like he came in and were able to move the ball a little bit easier, and then it felt like it was a little bit tougher as Denver maybe made some adjustments. Was there something you saw?
Nothing crazy. I think just overall game plan wise, they might have pressured a little less than what we expected. Credit to them. They played a good game. Defense coordinator called a good game, but like I said, I think we got guys in our room on our side of the ball that can go out there and execute. We just unfortunately didn't do it today.
Davis, you've been a part, and it felt like Denver kind of adjusted to him a little bit.
So Davis says they dropped in the zone pretty much more, and here's D'Amico.
Was there something that you saw that they changed or did to kind of get to him?
I thought Vance did what he always does. He mixed up his coverages a lot. Some drop 8 coverages that he's shown on tape. So he did a good job of mixing it up. We just have to.
So he does do that, but he runs a shitload of man. So they convert it to zone and mix it up, and they confuse Mills.
Again, we have to be able to make the plays we need to make. We got to run the ball better, all right? And we just got to be able to finish drives. It's 3rd down for me. You go 3 of 17 on 3rd down. That's not winning football.
A lot of bad passes by Mills on 3rd down.
Ball.
All right, getting through it. This photo's sick of Nico, even though he's short. It's a pretty cool photo. Yeah, let's see what else we got. Scrolling through, and so I posted this clip, little montage, but again, call it over analyzing, over speculating. It's pressers, but I said this kind of feels like halfway through of last year where D'Amico is getting frustrated by the offense and like finally starting to like put blame or pressure on him. So here's some of his stuff here.
Look, we tried to get the ball to him. It didn't work out. Of course, we all like to see the ball go to Nico, right? 20 times, put the ball up to Nico. That's everybody's first thought. Like, get the ball to Nico. Of course, we want to get the ball to Nico. We got to do a better job of game planning and putting them in a position to get the ball more.
So he brought that up on his own about Nico. A different tone than we've heard all year. He's been asked this question, and it's like, oh, it is what it is. Like, we're trying or whatever. But then now he says we got to do a better job of game planning and putting him in better position. So now, and he was like, they've been pressed about how they utilize Nico. That sounds like, hey, like that's on the. I don't know how y'all interpret that, but like to me, that's like, yeah, the OC needs to fucking scheme it up.
Oh, for us right now, offensively, like we got to be better. We have to be better, and that's from all standpoints of just putting guys in position. That's
OC
executing all the way across the board. We just have to be better offensively.
Mitigate some of those issues.
I hope so. We're trying to convert them, so we have to do something different. Obviously,
this is on short yardage.
We're doing it hasn't worked, so we just got to find a different way.
So got to try some new shit. So I mean, maybe overreading, but those were 3 answers within a 10-minute presser where it seemed like he's kind of putting some, hey, like Kaylee, figure this shit out. Like, scrolling back through to the top, almost done with the Broncos, and then we can kind of dive in briefly into the Jaguars game. And let's see here. We got D'Amico. Rockets are balling. This guy's awesome. If you don't follow him on Instagram, follow him. Film Watchers 1.
He's initially going to hit this little pull. As he pulls this left guard.
This is him breaking down Zach Allen dominating our defense.
Zach Allen had himself a career game yesterday. Look at the power on this sack. He's working out of the 3 technique against this left guard. And as he comes out, he's initially going to hit this little pull. As he pulls this left guard down, that gets the weight back on the heels of the guard. That guard's sitting more back in a chair. So Zach Allen is going to get that left arm right on the left chest of that guard. And now that the weight's off balance, he just bull rushes him back right into CJ Stroud. Engulfs CJ Stroud. Awesome pass rush from him there. Now you see some great speed from him here because they're running this power to the right. So they're pulling the left guard to the right. They're going to block back on Zach Allen with the center. That's a pretty tough block with Zach Allen being in the 3 technique, but Zach Allen's initially releasing to the inside like it's a normal pass rush or something, but he notices that this left guard is pulling and that the center's blocking back. So he takes this step with his left foot and then kind of leaps around the center, bends the edge, and then is able to stop the run. Great play from him there. Great reflexes, great speed. Now you can see some IQ from him here. I thought it was awesome because he's lined up across from that left tackle, and then the Texans are going to send the tight end in motion out of this jumbo I set, and Zach Allen, as soon as that motion happened, recognized it because he remembered the film from a couple weeks ago when the Texans came out in that exact same jumbo set, motioned that tight end just like they did this time, motioned him quickly back out, and then just run this little halfback dive with that fullback lead. So Zach Allen remembered seeing that play on film. So now when they motion that tight end quickly back out, Zach Allen is getting the quickest jump ever. He is diving inside right where they're trying to hit that play, and he's able to just completely block the point of attack, clear the C gap for that linebacker, and it's a goal line stuff because Zach Allen knew what play was coming because he watched film. He absolutely balled out yesterday. What a goat.
Man, that was that's tough. Good breakdown by that guy. But yeah, here's Slowick doing a bootleg. I think it was a design pass, but I mean, yeah, why don't you do that? And then, Nick's talked about the touchdown. Just want to make sure I play some stuff that's relevant to you guys. And here's Bo Nix on the 25-yard play he had to set him up for field goal range.
Yeah, so we've given that kind of play style a few different times, and they'd seen a couple of them. And, just want to move the pocket and get a new launch point. change up the pace for those edge guys. And, we got out on the end and felt like everybody was running over there for the pass, and there just ended up being a good lane. And, finally got to be able to use my legs there at the end. They did a good job of closing lanes and, rushing, keeping me in the pocket there for a while. But finally that movement, I think, caused a little bit of a lane in the defense. And then it was just all about, getting all you could. And at that point we were in field goal range. We just wanted to get closer. But that was a really important play for us on that last drive.
Yeah, so it's not good discipline there. Cardinals ran quarterback sneak for a touchdown. Look at that. That's crazy. Wonder what that's like, huh? Sean Payton after the game.
Look, I thought we controlled the line of scrimmage, really. I mean, if you want to know one thing, we controlled the line of scrimmage. We felt like there was a big advantage for us in this game, our front versus their offensive line.
And
look,
every team's going to say
I thought
that. Obviously theirs is way better, but that's tough. And then here is Sean Payton adjusting the game plan versus Mills, essentially.
And I think that was one of the things that changed with their starter going out. We still have an accurate passer, but the plays that he can make with his feet aren't the same as the starter. So your cage rush principles dissipate a little bit. We knew, Mills had a lot of experience, but how you rush him might be a little different than Stroud.
So basically, when Stroud is in, people are scared of his legs, either running. He's been running now, and teams are starting to say they're scared of him running, but also scrambling. So that means less stunts by the D line, because now you get stuck out of position and now you open up gaps. And like we just saw Bo Nix, where we had a guy try to stunt around. You just left open the B gap and he fucking took off and ran. Same thing now for us with Stroud. Stunts have killed us, but Stroud using his legs can actually help us not see as many stunts for the O-line. And that's what he said. That's cage rush, where you kind of build like a cage around the pocket and everyone kind of keeps him in. But then now, once he's out of the game, now they fucking run these stunts and twists and kill us. So that's part of it too, because they know Mills isn't a runner. So, it's pretty savvy by them. And then Brandon says, so Titus isn't enough of a leader to call for us just to run the ball behind our right tackle. Sewell doesn't mind. That's a good point, or confident. Is he that good of a run blocker for it? I don't know. But yeah, we do need to run to the tackles. Kerry Clay on Facebook. So I'm guessing we activate Trent Brown as a swing this weekend. Do they think they move Titus to left guard, then Brown to Fisher at right tackle? They absolutely cannot be rotating these guys. Man, you know what? This is some great shit here. I didn't really think about it, but if left guard is that big of an issue and O-line does get healthy, you could move Titus back to left guard. So that is something to monitor. Blake Fisher's getting reps at right tackle, seemingly did okay in the reps that he got in this game. But now if he starts at right tackle again, does good again, you now have the option to put Titus at left guard. I hadn't thought of that. I don't know why, because he was left guard to start with. He was our left guard to start with. That's crazy. And then Trent Brown, I hope he's activated. It sounds like he's healthy. That's a good question with the jumbo set, the 3 tackles. That's a really good question there. I know Cade Stover potentially is coming back soon, so now you can run some jumbo when he gets back. But they also mentioned that British Brooks can play tight end. They also have Jakob Johnson, who practiced today, should be back, so that can be a tight end. But a true jumbo set, I like that. Who knows? It could be the case there. So great analysis / question there, Kerry. Brandon says, need to bring in the kind of alignment that stays. Hey, we're at the 1, get behind me, pause, and let's convert. I agree, dude. You need that dog mentality. Trent Brown only has 1 or 2 weeks before I'm calling him a waste of a roster spot. Yeah, paid him some money too, right? And then trade deadline, nothing happened. And Stroud obviously is out. D'Amico, Here's D'Amico's analysis of Davis Mills playing, how he played with Vandermeer and Harris.
Yeah, as I watched the film, I thought, there were times he made some good throws, good decisions with the football, made some really nice, conversions. And there were other times I thought, where he could kind of slow it down. He's kind of going through his progression a little too fast. So I think he can slow it down, and we have some other opportunities there that I know he would want back, some third down opportunities. We had one down the middle to Christian that I thought we could hit on 3rd and 15, and another one to Dalton there in the strike zone area, which I think if we get a better ball, better time in there, I think we can make both of those third down plays.
There were 4 sacks. One of them, I don't know if that was a sack. If it is Davis, having a full week of practice, that's got to be a big help as well. And the fact that he did play on Sunday against the Broncos.
Yeah, it helps a lot, when you go in knowing that, hey, you're getting all of the reps with the starters. It should help him as he preps, because I always believe you have to practice well to play well. So for especially the quarterback position, it's always tough for a backup quarterback. That's why I think it's one of the toughest jobs in the league, right? When you don't get many of the reps, most of your reps are on a scout team. Right, you have to make sure you mimic those reps and make them as realistic as possible, but they're not real reps. And then you're asked to get thrust into a game at any given situation at a pretty tough moment, right? And anytime you lose your starting quarterback, it's tough for everybody, but you're asked to go in and operate
against a really good defense
as if you're the starter. And I thought Davis made some good plays. He did some good things in the game. I think he'll be better having a full week of work.
I know that may sound like smoke to y'all, but this is what I said early in the show. I agree. I think he will play better and good enough at the very least for us to have a chance to win. And over back on the comments, Brandon says, if left guard was enough of a problem, we may have seen a line of Cam, Robinson, Titus, Andrews, Ingram, Ursery if all of our guys were here. Robinson left for selfish. That's a good point, too. And you know what, too? We did right by the player. We did right by Robinson. We traded him to where he wanted to go because he wanted to play. Instead of us fucking keeping him on the roster in case this shit were to go down, and now he could be playing. It just kills me. Casario did right by the player, but now we're fucked. Like, he could be our starting left tackle, and Ursery could be right tackle, and Titus could be left guard. Like, that's crazy, dude. One guy over 53 other guys. And great point, dude. Both of you guys. And I got some ammo now to kind of roast them publicly. But let's see here. Going back through. Here's Sean Payton on the RJ Harvey touchdown we were talking about earlier.
It's a pirate route. We got the right coverage. We set it up off of a halfback choice, and then all of a sudden take off. And like, we're just starting to see right in front of our eyes a guy that we felt strongly about. He can go, and he and Dobbins, that 1-2 combination is it's nice to have as a coach.
All right, so let's see. Keep going. Here's D'Amico on the Bo Nick scramble.
At one critical moment where, hey, we're not having the lane discipline that we should have, and we allow this huge A-B gap escape, knowing that, that's what the quarterback like to do. So we had him in check most of the game, but in the critical time, the crunch time when it mattered most, you have to be able to remain disciplined, rush how we're supposed to rush, coverage, not over pursuing, staying where we are in coverage, and we should be in position to make the quarterback have to dish the football right there. So, I mean, we had some play, we had some one-on-one opportunities where they scored on us. They made a play. We got to find a way to make those plays. The couple times they did get into the end zone on the 2-point conversion, we got to find a way to make the play. We're in position.
Yep.
Now, can we go make those plays?
How about?
They did kind of get beat on those plays, but I mean, trusting Henry to cover RJ Harvey's questionable, but I get the Sting one. And then now here's again D'Amico talking about getting Nico the ball.
Tough is it to decide who gets the reps, who gets the ball? I know you want to be better on third down, so you have more of those opportunities. Is that really a big part of it? If those drives continue, you have a rotation of sorts going into it. More guys get touches, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, want to get the ball to our best players, right? We got to find a way right now. We got to find a way to get Nico the ball even more. I feel like we could have got it to him on the outside more, just giving him more shots downfield, finding a way. CK was open, a lot. We just got to be able to make the throw. So it's all everybody working together there. I think we had a good rotation of guys, and then you want to see the young guys get the ball as well because they've done a good job. Jay Noel and Jay Higgins have both done a good job as well. So we have skilled players who can make plays, right? It's just a matter of everybody being on the same page, being in sync, and making the plays that we can make, especially in those third down, those red zone, those situational moments where I feel like we have to excel and we have to be better.
You just get managing week to week, like, it's first, like, we try to get Nico, you can't force it. Now it's like, give him the ball, young players, we need to get them the ball. Like, what, like these things are good, but it's like, what is going on? Like, are you fully trusting in Kaylee? Are you telling him to do stuff he's not doing it? Like, are you the one doing it? Like, it's just tough, man. Going to the trade deadline, didn't do jack. They wanted a third for Brees. Doesn't even sound like we inquired. Currently, via CBS, our chances to make the playoffs are 18.2%. And, oh, man, this was great. Bill O'Brien, old butt chin, dude. This is great. I'm sure y'all have already seen it, but him going off on a reporter at a Boston College presser.
Coach, wondering, do you have a message for the fans? Obviously losing to Notre Dame, Catholic school rival, 1-8 now in the season in BC. I've heard from a lot of fans. They're just really
I'm really glad. I'm glad you're down. I'm not down. Nobody's down. We're fighting. We're competing. It's the second year of this program, Mike. You always come in here with these down questions. Like, you show up like once a month or something like that. You come in here with these down questions. I'm not down. I don't know what year you graduated from BC, but this is a program that we're building. Okay. Nobody here's down. We're positive. We're going to show up and play our asses off against SMU. You can go out there in your dark, clouded world or whatever it is and do what you want to do. We're not down. The sun is up, and we're fighting. That's my message to the fans. What's up, Trevor?
SMU league coach. Wondering, do you have a message for the
That
fans?
kills me, dude. That absolutely
kills
kills me. What's up, Trevor? Oh, man. And so I hope to God we beat the Jaguars because I'm going to use this so much. What's up, Trevor? That's all. I'm going to spam this, dude.
We're not down. The sun is up, and we're fighting. That's my message to the fans. What's up, Trevor?
What's up, Trevor? Dude, so what's up, Trevor is fucking hilarious. I got so many ideas of how I'm going to use that with, Trevor Lawrence. Oh, man. I miss these rants just like publicly online. So like, hopefully he gets more of these sound bites for us. That is absolute gold. Brandon says may see a divide starting between Caserio and D'Amico. D'Amico came here and the defense was fixed day one. Caserio had been here 5 years and offenses. Yeah, I mean, that's what you would have to assume. Carrie says, when we were playing fast-flowing defenses, I would like for us to call more misdirection plays, fake a dive, give the jet sweep, anything to make those guys think for half a second. Did you see anything like that in film review? I haven't watched yet, but I mean, that was, what we started to do against the Niners. Not really misdirection, but we mixed up the run game as far as our bread and butter is duo and inside zone, and not a lot of wide zone, not a lot of counters where you're pulling guards, power where you're pulling guards and tackles, or I said that wrong, power where you're pulling a guard, or counters where you're pulling guards and tackles, or whams where you're letting guys flow up field and crack or wham blocking them. We saw more of that against the Niners because they're an aggressive up downhill defense just like us, and that's what kills our defense. So we did see more variety, but like I agree with the misdirection, but like continue to do what you did. And that's what the Broncos do and didn't really work that well against us. But listening all week about Sean Payton on every little thing between pressers and all this stuff, they talk about how he varies the run game. Like he runs all kind of shit. He runs every scheme, so it's hard to know what's coming when. Obviously, you have the balance of like your bread and butter and that. But to me, like running wise, at least in these matchups, but even overall, like I like that our bread and butter is what it is, but like we don't run enough outside, like especially with Woody, like he's effective outside, and also too like from the backs, I feel like they personally don't cut it outside enough. I feel like the cutback or the bounce out is there. It's there, like especially in these short yardages. Press the hole initially and bounce that motherfucker outside, dude. Like yes, you may get a hole, but like especially if you're Woody, run the motherfucker outside. You're fast enough to beat someone to the edge. Like I feel like we don't do that, and that can be a coaching point. Like, hey, run that bitch outside. I'm gonna call it inside, but like try to bounce it outside. I feel like it's there all the time. And so going back through, so now we can kind of transition. I'll just meddle it in the Jags. So the coverage EPAs. Pass coverage EPA, we're the best in the league, and then the Jaguars are like 17th. They run, pretty across the board. They run cover 6 21%, which is the most in the league. So that's 4 to one side, 2 to the other, which is what killed us against the Seahawks. So where they basically ran 2 to the boundary versus Nico and doubled him, and then cover 3 they run 33%. So you'll probably see cover 6, cover 3 most. That's over 50% of their coverage. And then here is D'Amico on Stroud versus the Broncos, which I agree 1,000% with this.
Things, man. We started the game really well. CJ was doing a really great job, making great decisions, great throws, and you can tell it was going to be another one of those games, similar to the Niner game. Felt like we had control. We can move the ball at will, doing the things that we wanted to do. It's just unfortunate, man, when you lose your starting quarterback. It's just unfortunate to see CJ go down the way he went down with a concussion, knowing the type of game that I felt like he was going to have. It was going to be a big day for him.
I agree, man. Like, I saw it. I saw the same shit we saw against the Niners. Like, and I hope that this concussion doesn't knock him off the momentum he had. He had turned a page, bro. Brandon says, also crazy that we modeled our run game after the Rams and we are on opposite sides of the success spectrum this year. Yeah, that's crazy. Some mic'd up from Kamari. Here's Kamari.
Nix puts the leg down. Here's the snap. Nix, a roll to the right side. Steps out. Nix heaves it long down.
This play is insane by Kamari. He runs with his body like this, like half turn. This is like hard to like doing this and also looking back. I had a great view of this in the end zone. Like to even get in this position is insane right here.
Nix heaves it
pretty good ball
down.
by Nick. It's a really good ball, and Kamari went and high pointed it, but the problem is
almost heaves it long down.
Went through his hands and hit him in the chest.
Almost intercepted by Lassiter.
Drop it like a bitch. Let me see that. Let me touch it. Drop money, bruh.
Coming again?
Bruh. My fault.
Let me go, boy. Keep ball there.
Hey.
Yeah, his mic, if you haven't watched it, it's on the Texans YouTube. It's great. And this was interesting. Here's D'Amico when asked by Mark Vandermeer, again on Texans YouTube, how he's involved in offensive game planning.
You get an offensive game planning with Nick Caley. Do you guys meet a lot about this? Is your philosophy there? I mean, obviously it is, but how do you combine and collaborate on those kinds of things? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, for me, as I'm watching, film throughout the week, just watching all 3 phases, and I'm just watching our opponent and seeing really what they've struggled with as I look at it from, all perspective, looking at it from offensive perspective, like what is this defense like struggling with, and can we put them in those situations again? Because I always believe you got to show a team like have they fixed their issues, right? And that's when I step in and I'm just asking guys throughout the game plan process, like, hey, have we looked at this particular route? Have we looked at this particular run? I see these things have given this defense trouble, and these are some things that I think we should implement. The guys are probably already ahead of that on me. It's like, yeah, we have this end and that end. So that's why I just come from the perspective of all phases. Like I see this team struggling in whatever area, let's continue to attack.
Doesn't sound like he weighs in too much from that. Who knows? Yeah, the points allowed shit, fewest, 121. Next highest is the Rams, 127. Wasting a great defense. Here's Bo Nix today or yesterday about the Texans.
Is there something you can put your finger on, or maybe more than one thing, that can make your offense be more consistent quarters 1 through 4 instead of these fourth quarter avalanches after 3 struggling quarters?
I think, if we can find a way not to have to play the #1 defense in the league, that might help. But, they're trying to keep us from scoring at the same time we're trying to score. So it's not easy. And
yeah, so, hat tip to the Texans, and everyone talks about Broncos versus Texans defense. He said the Texans. So here's Kamari going back and forth with Troy Franklin.
I know it. We're going to play it. We're going to bump our game. We're going to bump our game. I like your game. Let's do it.
What a play by Stingley.
Oh. Come on. Come on, baby. Hey, come on, Troy. No, you running. You running into him. Come on.
Just bump. Kamari's a dog, dude. Let's see. Almost threw it all. D'Amico on the trade deadline.
Yeah, look, when it comes to the trade deadline, it's because a transaction did not happen. It's not from a lack of effort. Of course, we tried to do several things, just didn't pan out.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, they basically alluded that we tried. Did you? How hard did you try? This is rough. So the injury report, Jalen Petrie out of nowhere, concussion. Stroud obviously out, concussion. Kaimi out, right quad. Berrios limited with the chest. Chubb did not practice, foot. That's new. Jakob Johnson full. That's good. Christian Harris, he's out with the shin. Okay, it sucks, but yeah. Boy Anderson quad did not practice. That's concerning. Ed Ingram knee did not practice. That's concerning. Titus Howard concussion did not practice. Still uncertain. Probably won't play. Schultz been battling knee and shoulder limited. Played well through both of that. He's a dog, dude. Harrison Bryant shoulder did not practice. That's huge. Horton's back and Autry did not practice. Hopefully we'll see tomorrow. A lot of these are rests. So, Thursday usually is a big day for an indicator of playing or not, but definitely not a good situation. On the flip side, we got the Jaguars. There, we'll talk about De'Ami Brown, limited concussion, so he's probably back. And then their O-lineman Ezra Cleveland, which we'll look at the depth chart. He did not practice, so I don't know if he's any good. Jordan Lewis, damn good, one of the better nickel coverage corners in the league. Did not practice with his neck, and he got that pick against us last time. Tight end Hunter Long, I don't know how big of a deal he is, did not practice. Brian Thomas Jr., DNP. They just traded for Jacoby Myers from the Raiders, which Jacoby Myers is a slot receiver, and they lost Travis Hunter, but Parker Washington has been playing that role. And Liam Cohen said this week, which I think is dumb to do, that Jacoby will play more outside initially on, short time to adjust to the offense, and that Parker Washington will remain in the slot for this game. So maybe that's a lie, but that's what he said. And then as far as everything else, let's see what we got. Yep. It's all about Texans defense dominating. So, but yeah, let's go through Jaguars. Let's kind of just do some quick stuff here. Share this tab instead. We'll go to the game on ESPN. Jaguars, they're 5-3. First game of the year, they beat the Panthers, lost to the Bengals, to Browning, beat us 17-10, which was really a tie game, and then a busted coverage by CJ Gardner-Johnson. They beat the Niners, which seemed like a really, really good win at the time. We beat them too. Beat the Chiefs, seemed like a really good win at the time. Still is a good win, but it was the craziest, ugliest game-winning drive I've ever seen in my life by Trevor Lawrence. Then they lost to the Seahawks 20-12, which the Seahawks are the real deal. Lost to the Rams, which are the real deal. They've lost to teams that we've lost to. And then they beat the Raiders, a game they very easily could have lost. And they had the longest field goal in NFL history, 68 yards by Cam Little before half to get them down there. I believe the Raiders might have missed an extra point late in the game, but just looking at the stats, I mean, the Raiders and Geno Smith, who've been struggling all year, put up 29 on the Jags. So, I mean, this isn't the Denver Broncos defense, and this is a week of planning for Mills. Mills can have a good game. But just looking at the box score, I mean, 367 yards to 331. Both teams were effective on third down. They had the same amount of first downs, 26. So rushing, they shut down the rushing attack for the Raiders, which I don't believe this is very good, but 151 to 57. Both teams are pretty good in the red zone. Both teams had a lot of penalties. Both teams had one turnover. So let's just look at maybe a little bit more here. Trevor Lawrence, 23 of 34, 222 yards and a pick. Sacked once, 73 rating. Geno Smith fucking lit it up. 29 of 39, 4 touchdowns. He's been playing terrible this year, and he lit it up against them. 117 rating. And so, Mills can have some success there. Brock Bowers obviously had a big part with that, but Parker Washington, is their most heavily targeted receiver. Brian Thomas Jr. may not play, but just kind of going through the play-by-play, it looks like it was an ugly game at half. They kicked that. It was 6-0, and the Raiders had missed a extra point. So instead of being 7-0, it ends up being 6-3 after a missed extra point and a NFL record field goal before half. So, I mean, that's the game right there. And, throw a pick and they get the ball in their own end to start the third, and all they get's a field goal. Trade field goals, 6-9, nice. Jax takes the lead, 13-9, and then LA comes back. So the fourth quarter kind of got crazy, trading touchdowns. Ends up going to overtime, and then the Raiders go for 2 and don't get it. So I mean, the game we lost on the road there, played terrible, still could have won. So very winnable game, season on the motherfucking line. We can and will and should win this game. Like, I know we're fucking down and this and that, but like, win this game is back. Now you got the fucking Titans. And then next thing you know, you win this game, you can more than likely win the Titans game. You're 5-5. And now you just have to win a handful of these tough games, which we've played all these fucking tough teams close. Rams, Bucks, Broncos, like Seahawks. All those were games that we could have won despite all the putrid shit. So, like, I understand a lot of us are down, but, like, you win this game, like, look the fuck out. Like, it can happen. And we can and should win this game. So, I know I'm the optimistic guy, but, like, that's how I'm seeing it. Like, but yeah, we'll go to NFL Pro, and we'll see if we can find some more insights on there. Let's see. Go to overall points per game. They got 22. We got 21. So their offense fucking sucks too. Point differential. We're plus 47. We're the 9th best, and we have 3 wins. They're minus 8. Record in close games. They are 4-2. We are 0-5. That's the difference. So, like, we went from the first couple years under D'Amico, I had broken it down, but like really good in close games, or 1-score games, 8 points, to now we're terrible. So part of that before was being clutch and good coaching, but part of that was also good luck. And then now us going 0-5 is part bad coaching, bad clutch gene, whatever, and also some bad luck. So, I mean, it's not simply variance, but there is an element of variance, the ball bouncing your way, not fumbling inside the 10 or the 20 against the Rams to take the lead, not fumbling inside the 20 to take the lead against the Jags, and then also throwing a pick, like, not tackling Baker on 4th and 10, like stuff like that can start to go your way eventually. It's not an excuse, but like there is just a little bit of that element here too. But if you look at like key matchups, we'll just go to looks like we got a lot of advantages, but We'll just go to passing. I mean, just looking at this overall, you know, our defense versus their offense, we are the number one short passing, number one versus the blitz, number one passing versus no pressure, number one overall passing efficiency, number one versus play action, number 10 against quick passing, number 3 against deep passing, number 1 against long passing, number 4 against no play. Our fucking pass defense is nuts, dude. Like, what the fuck? And then on the flip side, their pass offense is dog shit. Number 30, number 27, number 24, 24, 16, 31, 28, 12, 25, 17, all those same categories. So we're way better. The only thing that they have is versus the blitz. We're number 22 pass defense versus the blitz, or when we blitz, and they're number 17. So, okay, you know what? And you know what Trevor Lawrence struggles with? Zone coverage. Drop back in zone. Make it hard on him. Rush, get home with 4. Like, this is a very, very winnable game. And we're at home. Like, loud, season on the line. On the flip side, you know, our offense passing versus theirs. I mean, their intermediate passing is number 2, but their play action passing is 28. Okay, run play action. And we're number 10 offensively passing. So that's a big key there, a 4-star advantage. And then, you know, they're number 7 deep passing, number 6 long passing, number 8 versus no play action. So it sounds like just going through this initially, run the ball, play action. And aside from that, it's kind of like a wash on the other ones. Like, they're not like too big of advantages as far as passing versus blitz, quick passing. Quick pass game is an advantage for us too. So play action and quick passing, I would think would be some keys just, you know, before I dive into this fully later in the week. But just kind of going through all this with you guys now, initial scratching the surface. So rushing, they have a big advantage rushing. I think the numbers for our rush defense aren't as good here as what they are. We can go into, you know, the stats like EPA next, but, you know, rushing versus stacked box, they're number 1. We're 18, so they got an advantage there. QB scrambles, we're number 32 in the league. Go figure. They're number 17. So Trevor Lawrence scrambling. But you know what? You might get popped. Rushing versus shotgun, you know, they're 9th. We're 22nd. Light box. And so, I mean, they have a couple advantages, which is versus stack box and QB scrambles, but I think that's somewhat misleading. And then on the flip side, our rush, we might have to pass to open the run just looking at this because, you know, according to all these metrics, our rushing isn't great. 31 under center, 28 red zone, 24 design runs, 18 outside the tackles, 29 stack box. I mean, that 18 is better there than other places outside the tackles. We should do that more. But, you know, on the flip side, they're like 8, 9, 8, 6, 12. So rushing out of shotgun shows to be a place for us. We're number 5. They're 19. QB scramble 7-17. That's obviously CJ Stroud, so that's kind of misleading. But if we go to, let's just go through real quick. This will be the last thing we do. We'll go to stats and we'll go to team offense. And the first thing we'll look at is quarterback pressure rate allowed. We'll filter it from lowest to highest. And the Texans have the 10th lowest pressure rate allowed by their offensive line. I've been telling people, like, our pass pro is much better than people think. 30.6. That is damn good. And a lot of it has to do, too, with us getting the ball out quick. Whereas the Jaguars are... Where are the Jaguars? They are number 7, 29.3. They also get the ball out quick. So you can help your offensive line with scheme. Last time we played them, they knew that they had to get the ball out quick, and all they did was throw screens and quick passes. They did not let Trevor Lawrence throw it deep at all. So, but just going back through some other stats, we'll just go through EPA per play on offense. Let's see, going down. Jags are 19th, minus 0.04, and we're 20th. So our offenses are the same. Obviously, we have Mills, but still, I mean, pass yards per game. We'll just stick on EPAs. We'll do EPA per pass. Again, we have to remember that the Texans have Mills. So EPA per pass, we're 17th, and they're 25th. So their pass offense sucks. Our defense is elite, massive. If we get any kind of lead, and so this game's on Lawrence. I can't wait for us to expose him. EPA per rush. The Jaguars, this is their strength, plus 0.07. So we have to shut down their run and force Trevor Lawrence to throw. And then our offense on EPA per rush, man, we were higher up going into the Seahawks game, which had me misled because we beat up on the Ravens and Titans. But now we're 23rd in EPA per rush. So we want to be a rushing team, and we suck at doing what we want to do. So maybe you should adapt to what you are good at. We can do time to throw too. This is kind of a barometer of how long the quarterback holds on to the ball. Jaguars are 15th at 2.78. Texans 2.71 are 7th. Go over to defense and let's see. Next gen stats, team defense, season leaders. Let's go to EPA per play. Who do you think the best defense is EPA per play? The Houston Texans, minus 0.17. Rams, number 2, minus 0.16. Broncos, number 3, minus 0.14. The Jaguars, number 11, minus 0.07. EPA per pass. Who do you think's the best? The Houston Texans, minus 0.27. Second is Rams, minus 0.19. The Jaguars, EPA per pass defense is 14th at minus 0.07. And EPA per rush. The EPA per rush, the Jaguars are 7th, minus 0.08. So they got a good matchup. Their rush D versus our rush O. And then our EPA per rush, which EPA you can't really argue with too much, but like I feel like our rush D is much better than this. Number 17 at minus 0.02. So last thing, quarterback pressure percentage. Again, I'm kind of getting turned off on pressure stuff because it's not really – it's a lot of mixed stuff, and it's not a true barometer of things. But the Texans, see where they're at. So Texans are 16th with a 34.5% pressure rate, and this bodes well. I mean, we should have all day to pass, bro. We need to pass to open the run. They're a bad pass defense. They get no pass rush. Mills is good at – Jordan Lewis might be out. Mills is good at quick game. They only get 30% pressure rate. And then, on ours, at 34.5, that's misleading because we have the best edge rushing duo in the league, and teams don't even give us the chance to pass rush. They just hit quick screens so you can't get a pressure. But like just going through that, like surface level, I'll dive in more and look at stuff, but it feels like offensively, it's going to be hard to run. We might have some success in the interior, but their edge players are pretty good. But if we do run, also mix out. I mean, yeah, our strength will be quick passing and play action passing. And then we'll have plenty of pass protection. It will be, hey, how does Ariante Ursary now hold up in his rematch against Josh Hines-Allen, who last time got the better of him, but that was like one of his first starts or like early in his career. And then obviously Fisher on the other end. But on the flip side, our defense stopped their run, and that's game. And we stopped their run last time in the first half, and they got away from it. From there, their pass game's putrid. Trevor Lawrence can't beat zone, so run some run-stopping zones like cover 4, cover 3, buzz, bring in the safety down the box as extra run support. Probably see a lot of cover 3, honestly. And Trevor have a tough time beating it, and then, get home with 4 that way. And then I guess the last thing we'll do is we'll look at PFF to see like the matchup there. You can kind of see the layout of the lineup. So let me go to week 10, and I'll share this tab instead. Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars preview. And so they have the overview overall. Their ranking, Jags 18th, we're 19th. Their defense, they're 13th, we're 2nd. Their offense, they're 17th, we're 21st. Strength of schedule played, 7th for them, 8th for us. And it kind of checks out. So we'll go to lineups. And so offensively for us, they have Greg Newsome, who's new, a corner they traded for, Wingard at safety, and Antonio Johnson. Eric Murray's on IR for them now, so he's gone. That's different. Devin Lloyd's been playing lights out this year. But their edge rushers, Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker, two pretty good edge rushers. But Arik Armstead in the middle, pretty good too, so you might have trouble there. But their other defensive interior, Devon Hamilton, if Ingram's healthy, you might have a good matchup running behind Ed Ingram, our best run blocker right there. So, I mean, you kind of see the matchups here, but, their corners aren't great. Monteric Brown, Eric Murray's out. Their safeties and corners aren't great, especially if Jordan Lewis is out. And then on the flip side, defense, obviously there's other players we're missing, but just looking at it here, if Petrie is out, maybe you run more 4-3 because you're going to try and stop the run anyhow. But Jacoby Myers, they got him outside. Washington the slot. Brian Thomas Jr. And so I thought, is Britton Strange hurt? I mean, so Hunter Long may not play, but Britton Strange, let me see if he's out. I mean, that could be Britton Strange is out, you said? Footballer 503 says Caceres is either comfortable with his job, that the McNairs aren't putting any pressure on him, or he just doesn't care for this season. Yeah, or he's just too much of a value whore. So Britton Strange is out. That's a big one for us. I mean, he kind of has done well against us. So suffering an injury against the Chiefs. So they may be down their first two tight ends. So that's big. So the Hunter Long injury now really – so they may be down Hunter Long and Brian Thomas Jr. And then now you have – and Travis Hunter. And then now you have Parker Washington as your main guy. And they already fucking suck at throwing the ball. And then now you have Jacoby Myers, who you just fucking traded for. So, yeah. And then Brandon says with their tight ends out, do we see a lot of 6 alignment? We could. I mean, their pass sucks. The run is their strength. They're going to be one-dimensional as fuck. Like, stop the run game. That's it. Because they're not going to pass the ball on us. 1, they already suck. 2, they don't have weapons. 3, Trevor Lawrence sucks at zone. 4, our pass defense is elite as hell. 5, it's at home. 6, it's a must. We should don't get caught up in the Davis Mills is starting this game. Davis Mills can do enough for this team to win. The formula is still the same. Lean on our defense. So I'm confident about this game. Like, I'm confident. Like, I know people are down, and hopefully we take care of business and, people can kind of get excited again. But I'm feeling good, man. So, but yeah, so that was a fun show. A little over 2 hours. I was about as effective as I've been to get as much information as possible. I feel like I don't have to do another show for this. I'll try and see if I can get like a Jags person on here. It's tough with division rivals because they probably don't like me because I talk too much shit. But it's tough because I'm a fan, but I also try to be professional. But maybe I'll find someone to kind of give us some insight. But I feel good about it, man. So as always, please follow me on all platforms. It's either at Texans Commenter on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, or it's at Houston Stressins, STRESSANS, or my website, HoustonStressins.com. I've been slacking on articles, but subscribe to my free newsletter. Get you some merch. I got Rockets merch too. I guess there's one right here. Rockets are back, but if you want to get you some shirts, you got the Amin Thompson, Alfred Sengun. Get you a Stroud shirt, as well as make sure and listen on Apple and Spotify. Please give me a review if you haven't. But other than that, I appreciate all you guys. Have a good night, and I will see y'all tomorrow. We blessin'.